For about a decade now, the US military has been saying it has a problem. If it needs to hit a distant target, one that's thousands of kilometers away, it can do it very quickly with a nuclear weapon, or more slowly, given a few hours, it could do it with a B-2 bomber or a cruise missile. But it doesn't have the capability of hitting very distant targets very quickly with conventional weapons. And so the conventional prompt global strike program aims to fill that particular gap. The debate about conventional prompt global strike for a decade now has really been dominated by one particular issue. And that's the problem that's called warhead ambiguity. And the concern that's been raised is that if Russia, or perhaps in the future China, detects a ballistic missile being launched carrying a conventional warhead, Moscow or Beijing might mistakenly think this missile has a nuclear warhead on the top of it, and that could accidentally start a nuclear war. There's an image that conventional prompt global strike is this silver bullet that can penetrate any kinds of defenses whatsoever. And that's not right. Different technologies have different strengths and weaknesses, and some of them can penetrate different types of adversary countermeasures, and some of them can't. So firstly, I think what DoD needs to do is a study into the different kinds of defenses that adversaries could develop and the ability of different CPGS systems to defeat them. Secondly, the effectiveness of CPGS depends absolutely critically on enabling capabilities. Intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance to find targets, command and control to authorize a strike, battle damage assessment to see what the effects of that strike was. Without the right enabling capabilities, CPGS won't be usable, let alone transformative. And so a dedicated study into enabling capabilities, which the Government Accountability Office has suggested that DoD do, but it hasn't done, is an imperative step before approaching Congress for money to buy a system. Conventional prompt global strike matters because it has huge implications, both potentially positive and potentially negative for US security. On the one hand, the possible missions for which CPGS might be employed, destroying a sophisticated adversary's anti-satellite capability, destroying advanced defensive systems that hinder US freedom of maneuver, destroying a nascent proliferator's nuclear arsenal. It could potentially deal with threats that really could threaten US vital interests. On the other hand, by risking unneeded escalation in a conflict, CPGS could also pose big risks to US security. And so it's because of the scale of the potential benefits and the scale of the potential risks that this program merits a serious national debate of the kind that hasn't yet taken place.